Welcome to over 12,000 students from across the country who are participating with us.
And so we're here to discuss racism. It's a difficult topic, whether you're Indigenous or non-Indigenous. So let's listen, let's be respectful of one another, and be open to learning. Let's approach it with curiosity and a shared responsibility for the outcome.
There are 350 schools participating from all across the country.
Charles was born in Toronto. He is a multi-talented, passionate, award-winning filmmaker. I'm so excited to introduce him to you. Hooray!
Wow.
Seraine Fox is an artist, an activist. On screen, she has hosted shows for Viceland and APTN and has been an ambassador for international brands such as Canada Goose, Nike, and has partnered with musical acts such as Buckby St. Marie and A Tribe Called Red.
Oh, hi, Ronnie. How you doing?
How can we be in a place of awakening where people are saying, "Well, I'm ready to listen and I'm ready to learn now," but you haven't acknowledged, what is actually happening?
The truth is that residential schools were purposeful and they were intentional. And in order for us to heal all of the harm, we need to talk about the truth of why it happened.
Last week, we invited some students from across the country to join us for a roundtable discussion.
What more do Black people have to do to get their basic rights? Like how many more marches need to be marched?
I'm embarrassed to say I'm not very educated. I don't know still the full extent of what went on, and even today, like, what was the outcome.
Don't ever be embarrassed about what you know. There's so much going on, and I always try to remember that, like, there's so much that we already have in our hearts that we know, even as Indigenous people. Like, we know what's happening to our earth. We know about all these issues, even if we're not, well-versed on all the names and the politics. But I just encourage you to keep listening, but don't be embarrassed.
Because we have lots of comments coming from you. Here's one about personal experiences.
And that systemic sort of way that racism works is it steeps into these microaggressions that it forces one to question what they're thinking and experiencing.
If you could change some important ways in which First Nations cultures are represented in modern society, what might they be?
Colonial society was made to believe that because we weren't writing things down, because we weren't documenting in a colonial format, that we didn't have our own opinion, that we didn't have the right to speak about our own history. And so I think the main thing that needs to change is people need to stop telling our stories.
Charles, how does it feel to hear about what these kids are doing?
I feel inspired. I feel inspired and hopeful. I think we can, especially in this time. I know it's so hard for youth right now as well. I mean, mental health, like all these things that are loaded, to fight for the hope and fight for the inspiration.
This is the pathway to our future, is to really be talking about these things and to be creating a pathway towards further dialogue and collaboration.
Charles, I want to thank you so much for your generosity in your time, in your generosity in your thoughts, for speaking with us today and for participating in the first live stream in Real Canada's anti-racism program.
I want to thank you all for your amazing comments and questions out there who are joining us from the 300 such schools, 12,000 students across Canada. We really appreciate you all being here, and we hope that you're also reading each other's comments and questions. And also, Seraine, thank you so much for your time and speaking with us here today, and for participating in Real Canada's anti-racism program.